let's talk about the one thing that's really standing in his way, in Bernie Sanders' way, and that's the black vote. I hate to admit it, but the black vote is the problem.
And I don't want to say disappointed, but weird is like the only like like if the story like the books written about this nomination would be the reason Bernie Sanders lost is because Hillary just so locked down the black vote because Bernie he's gaining ground on the Hispanic vote, he's winning the white vote. It's not disappointed, it's not anger, it's not frustration. That's just weird. It's weird.
It's astonishing, and it speaks to the efficacy of their establishment politics. Like, who's better at establishment politics than like the Congressional Black Caucus, right? Than all of these people who have been in positions, like they've been in these seats for 20, 30 years. I mean, they are themselves the very definition of establishment. They just happen to be black. And one of the things that blows me away is this two things. Three things. The first one is that quote that I think a lot of people just forgot, because I completely forgot myself, that Bill Clinton said about Barack Obama in 2008, which was a completely racist campaign against Barack Obama, right? They said, Bill Clinton said that just a few years ago, this guy, referring to Barack Obama, would have been carrying our bags. Now, a comment like that might get lost on someone who doesn't have a clue. But to anyone who has a bit of clue, you understand that a comment like that comes from deep context. Like, it comes from a deep-seated understanding of racism and Jim Crow and of the South. And when you consider Bill Clinton's heritage from Arkansas, his commitment to the Confederate flag in Arkansas, for a statement to flow like this from him in 2008, where he's just going to completely dismiss, not to mention everything else he said about South Carolina, about Jesse Jackson, and all the other things that he said, but a statement like this, that just a few years ago, this guy would have been carrying our bags. I wonder, how is it even possible for people to hear that, and black people to hear that and be like, just completely dismiss it? I'm lost on that. Noah, help me.
Look at the. I just want to say, look at the difference between endorsements from black leaders for Bernie and Hillary and the Clintons so far. I mean, the one that should worry anyone who believes the evolution theory for Bill and Hillary evolving on issues should be suspicious about whether it's their core values, if they have any, or more political expediency. Because when you hear things like that said in 2008, it makes you wonder whether they really are still living in the 90s, really. But to say, if you look at the difference between like John Lewis endorsing or Jim Clyburn endorsing Hillary and black leaders who endorse Bernie, almost every single one for Bernie has said they still have critiques. They have things they think Bernie should talk about. They want to make sure he, like I can't remember. One of them said that Palestine was an issue that they wanted more information about from Bernie. When Jim Clyburn, who wrote in his book about how racist some of the rhetoric was from Hillary Clinton and Bill during 2008, he didn't say they assured me, or I had questions to make sure that they understood the wrongs that were committed there, and that's why I feel comfortable. It was just like, yep, I love the Clintons, I love them so much. They're my candidate, I'm gonna die for them. That difference is.
It's a level of commitment that is fanatic. It's fanatical, right? It's a level of commitment that that requires you to see your candidate as perfect, and I think it's possible on both sides, clearly. But you're right in terms of the endorsement level, the surrogate level. You know, on Bernie's side, the African American surrogates are saying, "Listen, I like Bernie, but I have some critiques of Bernie." Hell, I mean, he couldn't even get a full-throated endorsement from Ta-Nehisi Coates. He said, "You know, I can still vote for him and still have critique of his work." And so it's just astonishing to me. I don't understand, or is it that people just don't know? Do you think people just don't know because 2008 in terms of technology was a long time ago?
No, Jim Clyburn knows. He wrote a book about it. He wrote a book about how mad he was.
The establishment. The establishment is the establishment. I'm talking about the firewall, the numbers of voters, black voters who are just going for Hillary Clinton, despite despite the recent history. Forget about 1990. Let's just look at 2008. Do you think they just don't know?
I think people just don't pay attention. I don't think we're. I think when you have Capehart and others who say, "Oh, well, the black electorate is just we're so much more well informed than people give us credit for." I think Americans in general are not very informed
Right.
about what is happening in our politics and in our communities and on a national level. I mean, there are countless articles about how people don't even know world geography, right? And that's like basic sixth grade stuff. So I really think, and we are a microcosm of the larger society as a whole. I think a lot of black voters just aren't really aware. Like I have one of my friends, she shared some posts with me earlier today. She was like, I can't this she give me something to refute this because it was someone arguing the electability. Hillary, we need Hillary to beat Trump. I really like Bernie, but we need to beat Trump and Hillary's the one that can do it. I'm like, dude, here are two polls and these been going back a month now. Like I don't know where people are getting this stuff from, but it's just like, I mean, we listen to the talking heads, but we don't go any further with ourselves. Same thing with people who say, oh, well, welfare reform was a long time ago. Huh? Like
Mm.
Hillary Clinton was making comments about people being deadbeats and they're no longer deadbeats just a few years ago. Like there's so much at our fingertips and resources, and not to get into a whole nother topic. I mean, like there's, and not to get into a whole nother topic, but people have access to computers. We have our cell phones. We have so much going on, but it's like glorified, world star hip hop, streaming video, music video type of thing, and we're not really engaging on a level of information acquisition that we really could be.
Right.
Now, some people do, and it fits their narrative, and they do what they do. But then at the same time, there's a lot of us who just aren't engaging. I got a message on one of the groups I help run, or one of the pages I run, from a sister in Detroit who's just like, yo, what's going on? I don't see anything. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, okay, have you been on a campaign website? Have you been to any of these groups? Have you done this? Have you done that? No. I mean, we don't take it upon ourselves to go look for the information. We're too busy upset because someone hasn't handed it to us or someone hasn't told us what for. Even with the reparations conversation. Well, what is the plan? What is he going to do about it? No, what are we saying? Like I just really feel like with us and our engagement in politics and community stuff, like we lack a lot of Kuji Chakalia. I know Kwanzaa was like 2 months ago. I know everybody, but Kuji Chakalia, self-determination, learn it, live it, love it. We need to have more agency, self-determination, and power over what we're doing and how we're engaging. And so it's fine if you're black and you're not for Bernie or whatever, but just to correct him, just because today he came out really hard against Hillary, like he hit her real hard today about welfare reform. No, he's been talking about that for like 20,
Right.
23 years, 22 years now, or whatever. There's video. Go look it up. C-SPAN, YouTube. It's your friend. Like
He's been
seriously.
hitting her on that.